How you doing today? Welcome back to Keep It Gutter Radio, Only Bangers Lifestyle. Right, we decide it's a banger. We work fast because we understand that's where the potency and the purity comes from. And we keep it gutter. If it's not perfect, if our setup's not perfect, if whatever is not perfect, we still work. Because we understand the energy is priority over the perfection. And the perfection is just a disguise of fear, insecurity, and doubt. And if we allow ourselves to be tricked by those three demons, then we will fail and live a miserable life. Right? It's very, very clear. This is Only Bangers Lifestyle. We're understanding the proper procedure. We're understanding the correct creation cycle. Right? We're understanding that you understand the energy first. And then you get into all the details of being a good musician. If you don't understand the energy, it's not going to go anywhere. That's why there's so many starving artists out there. Because they have the incorrect information and they don't understand what the proper priority is. Right? First thing, you got to decide it's going to be a banger. You got to set your mind in the correct way. It's going to be a banger. It's going to be great. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I don't care what the statistics are. It's going to be a banger. It's going to be great. Horse blinders on. Focused. Delusionally focused. Why? Because you're creating your reality. Right? You're lining up with what reality you put in your subconscious. We already know this. So why would you put garbage in there? Why would you allow the garbage to stay there that you received from people, whatever, who has shit beliefs that you grew up around, or who you're around now at work, or who you listen to down the street? Get rid of those. Get rid of those. Because those are all operating on a subconscious level and affecting you right now. Right? So, how do you get rid of it? You need to practice it every day. It's not just thinking about it. It's not just thinking positive. It's focusing your mind and then taking action. And then not giving up even when it looks like everything's falling apart. This is Only Bangers Lifestyle. We only make bangers. We only live on the highest vibration. This is what this channel is for. This is what How to Make a Banger University is for. This is what the Finishers Club is for. We're only making bangers. Top tier. Highest vibration. If you don't want that, if you want brain rot bullshit, if you want a scammer school, you want to be scammed by some shit, get out of here. I don't want you here. I only want you here. You're welcome here if you want to improve your life and move forward and get to the highest level. How do you make a banger? This is How to Make a Banger. All right, so I want to share with you my story today. I wrote it out. I spent all morning writing it out. Man, it is difficult writing your story because you need to go through your entire life, basically. I even downloaded this, or I signed up for this website called FocusMate to help me focus. Did the free trial, and then I was like, you know what, let me just purchase it. And it did help, But it takes a lot of focus. I did one session where I just wrote really detailed, and I only got up to myself when I started making beats. And then I did another session where I did it more broad. So I'm going to read you the more broad one. And this is what Keep It Gutter is too. It's fresh, it's information. People want to hear the story. I put this because on my website, on my new Finishers Club area, I have an area of my story introducing myself and who I am. Basically, why am I an authority to be able to talk about this? Right? And the answer is I've been doing this. I've been a producer for 19 years. I've been an artist for 23 years. And I've been through the holes that you're going to go through when you start releasing your work. The emotional holes, the financial holes, all of it. I've been through all of it. Been through the ringer. And I know when an artist is starting to go down the road of ruin, the road to ruin. I want to redirect you so you go on the road to riches. I know what the signs look like. The doubt, the working slow, the fantasizing in your head, these are all going to slow you down and lead you on the road to ruin. So I created the Finishers Club. We actually create songs and we release it every month on the 28th. Link is down below. If you want to join, it's free. It doesn't cost anything. to be with a community of positive artists who are dropping every single month. We're committed to dropping a song every month on the 28th. All right? It doesn't have to be officially dropped, but at least on your burner YouTube channel. So you're in that movement. So you're in that momentum. Right? You got to move. You got to move. You got to move. So, yeah, let me just read my story here for you. There may be some typos, and it's not perfect, but keep it gutter. I want to be able to convey my story to you. So, let's keep it gutter. Keep it raw. Keep it gutter just means keep it raw, keep it authentic. Only bangers. So, my name is Tavi. I'm originally from a northwest suburb of Chicago called Park Ridge. I come from a family who appreciates the arts deeply, but no one does it professionally. Growing up, I heard the vinyl of Thriller, Kinda Blue, the Rolling Stones, Bob Marley, Sibelius, musicals, and other classics, which enabled me to develop a great taste in music. I started playing piano from age 7 to 12, and the first real music I got into was Eminem's The Marshall Mathers LP and Dr. Dre's 2001 when I was 10 years old. I then got into metal, started playing guitar from ages 10 to 15. I was in a band during that time. My guitar teacher put me on to all the classic metal, such as Slayer and Metallica. I was composing the music, and we produced an EP in 2004. Shout out George Brolin, my guitar teacher. Really helped me. Appreciate you so much. All my teachers too, my piano teacher Katrina from Ukraine, and my first piano teacher when I was 7. Sorry, I forgot her name. When I was 16, I got my first keyboard and started making techno beats. When I was almost 17, I started making rap music. Everything was first influenced by 3 6 Mafia, as I was amazed by their sound. I learned how to use... first, I made beats on GarageBand, and GarageBand didn't even have quantize at the time, so I had like a crappy keyboard, and I had it connected through audio into my GarageBand, and I had to play the metronome, and I had to play it directly on the spot, because there was no quantize, so I had to play the drums and everything like right on beat. It took so many tries, and I had like 2 or 3 beats, my first beats. Wish I still had those. And then I got Logic Express, and Apple was doing a promotion where you could have 1-to-1 lessons to learn any of their software, and you paid $100 for 1 year. It's an amazing deal. It was like $2 a lesson. So I would go to Northbrook Court and go to the Apple Store and learn how to use Logic, and I'd blast Project Pat right in the Apple Store really loud. And Stafford, the teacher, he was actually my teacher there, and he would show me how to use it. He was a great guy. He was a quirky guy. He was actually the first guy to put comics on the internet. He has a comic series called Netboy. So playing Project Pat in the Apple Store, this was like, when was this? This was 2006. Yeah. And, I remember recreating Cheese and Dope at the Apple Store, 2006, Northbrook Court. Like just playing it loud, and then like playing it with the Apple Store keyboard. And I had already had piano lessons, so I knew how to play stuff by ear. And I recreated Cheese and Dope at the Apple Store with Stafford's help. So shout out Stafford too. Thank you. So, everything I made was first influenced by 3 6 Mafia. By the way, if you join How to Make a Banger University, you have access to all my beats, including these first beats, which is really exciting, from 2006. You have access to my beats from 2006 to 2025, like 19 years of beats. So you can go and listen to these actually in the classroom setting, and then under Dolphin Gang Beats. It's in a Dropbox folder. But, I was into Eminem earlier and Dr. Dre, and then when I got back into rap, it was like all 3 6 Mafia, 3 6, Project Pat, Lil White, all that. But as I kept diving deeper into rap, I used Wikipedia as a source of history and felt like I lived through the entire history of hip-hop. First getting into old school like Schoolie D and Eric B. and Rakim, Run DMC, then working up to Tribe Called Quest, Nas, Tupac, Biggie, Big L, Cameron, Common, Kanye, and beyond. I made beats every day, determined to meet a rapper when I went to college in 2008. I ended up being roommates in college with a rapper from Milwaukee, and that was one of the first times I realized the focus of my mind. if I decided something was going to happen. Like I put horse blinders on and I decided I need to meet a rapper when I go to school. This is my destiny. I'm making beats from my sophomore year of high school to my senior year. And then when I go to college, I want to be at a professional level and meet a rapper. And I did just that. We started a rap group called The Usual Suspects. It's still on Bandcamp to this day, with me as the producer and my friend as the vocals. We worked all year and produced our first self-titled EP released in 2009. But things did not go as we had hoped. It was the blog era. Drake and J. Cole were just starting to come up, and we thought that we would be well received by the blogs, but barely anyone replied to us. A few guys did. Shout out to Dale Willett. I remember that blog. He posted us, Dale Willett. We sent it to so many blogs, but and he posted it, which is so grateful now. And there was a few others that posted it, but we just didn't understand or have that grit built. Have that, even just that basic business grit of like statistics. If you do a certain amount of outreach, only a certain percentage is going to get back to you. But we didn't have that experience, so we got so discouraged. And we made quality music. It was great music, but we weren't really developed yet either. So, and we had this whole elaborate vision for how the things would go. But none of it went as we thought. We thought we would get on all the blogs. We would start getting invited to shows. Blah, blah, blah. Someone want to sign us, all this stuff. But we got so discouraged that we decided to work on the next album and not release anything until it was perfect. This was a huge mistake, and this is the basis for everything I teach now, because so much time was wasted and energy and opportunity. Right? Why? Because of fear. We held up and we're like, I'm not going to release anything else. So I've been down that road. I know where the holes and the traps are. They're 99% in your mind. That's why my whole philosophy is only bangers. Right? And my Buddhist practice really influences my philosophy as well, because I've been practicing Buddhism since the same time, since 2009. And studying Buddhism has really helped me develop myself as a human being, so I can then express that within my music. So what I express in the Finishers Club and How to Make a Banger is an expression of my growth through my Buddhist practice, and that manifesting itself in my music, right? So, if you're unaware of these traps and holes, you're going to lose momentum, and then you'll have a lot of trouble getting back up. We ended up really honing in on our craft and moving to an entirely different city. Chicago was like a small town, big city, and we were so jaded that we didn't like the energy going out to any events. So we moved to New York City. I visited, and I felt the energy here immediately in 2010, and I was like, all right, we need to move here. We were deciding between New York and LA. I didn't even visit LA, just went to New York, and I was like, all right, this is where we need to be. So my friend moved there before me for an internship, 2011, at a major record label. So our strategy was like, he was going to work at a label, we were going to develop our sound, we were going to get better, and then we were going to get signed, or something was going to happen, right? So still strategizing too much in our head, not enough action. So he came 2011, I came in August 2012. It was already 3 years since our previous release, 2009. We started working immediately and finished our second project within 1 year, by the fall of 2013. During this time, we were also working on a rebrand, new name, new logo, everything. We got that completed around 2014, and we also had 3 music videos done, photo shoot, everything, and we were playing some shows, Lower East Side, Brooklyn. Meanwhile, we were going out to events, hitting up rappers on Twitter and connecting with the local scene. We had one rapper over one night. I was playing beats and he wasn't feeling anything. I was getting nervous, but then I remember what DJ Premier does. He makes all his beats on the spot. So I was nervous, but decided, fuck it. I need to make it right here, right now. And I remembered my Buddhist practice of a principle called Ichinen Sanzen. It's called 3,000 realms in a single moment of life. Basically, your determination at every moment permeates the entire universe. So remembering that as a law, and that as a truth, and then remembering how I focused and was able to find my music partner when I started in Chicago, and many other things with my focus, but primarily my Buddhist practice really showing that that is an actual and a true thing. Like, it's got to be a banger. It's going to be a banger, right? So 2 things I got from this. So, no, let me back it up a little bit. I pulled out some sounds I thought he would enjoy and just started going for it. In my mind was, this has to be a banger. Only bangers. Only bangers. That's the only option. Like, I'm not going to be embarrassed here. I'm not going to lose. This is a battle. I'm not going to have him lose and be like, oh, he has whack beats. Like, no. The only option is he goes out there amazed by what an amazing piece of art that he just created with me. So I pulled out each sound, kind of looking over my shoulder, like, oh man, is he feeling it yet? Really, really tense. Internal battle going on super intensely in my mind. But I had to keep resetting it, horse blinders, like only bangers, going to be a banger. These are the rules. Finally I saw him moving his head and giving some reaction and like smiling and coming up with some lyrics. And he went on to write an amazing song, and we created a huge banger within a few hours. So, the 2 things that I got from that, right? What are the 2 things I got from that? You have to decide that it's a banger. You have to take charge of the ship. And there's nothing like working in the moment. The energy is fresh. That's why you have to work fast to capture the energy. This moment will never happen again. You have to crystallize it all right now. The point of all your practice is to get it in your body so you're able to perform when you're on the spot, like a professional athlete. Right? This is where the philosophy for only bangers, keep it gutter comes from actual reality, actual experience, repeated again and again and again. Right? This is the fundamental foundation. And then even deeper level is based on Buddhism. Now, back to the story on me and my friend's group project. What was our problem? Nothing had been released yet. Right? It was 2009, first release. 2013, 14, still nothing. Right? So I worked on a few side projects out of anxiety, but also opportunity. Some were fruitful, but some were a complete waste of time. Right? So one great opportunity during this time, I started working with Austin Mills, and we started remixing 90s R&B, and that started gaining traction. I showed him how to use Ableton. He laid down the drums, and I did the melodies. It was a side project for me, but we were gaining major momentum. 500K plays average on SoundCloud for multiple tracks. But I was so in my head that I couldn't see the data of what was actually working. Right? I was focused also on another project that was not as prosperous, working with a Grammy-nominated artist and also a Grammy-nominated producer, producing one's album and engineering for another. I learned a lot and was able to develop different sounds through working with them, but in the end, in retrospect, both were a waste of time. I should have just focused on what was working with Austin and keep building momentum with the group, with my friend's project that we were sitting on. Everything I teach you here is to help you avoid common mistakes like this. Our mind can be our biggest enemy, and if we don't take care of subconscious beliefs or poor decisions, we are doomed for failure. It doesn't matter how talented we are. Now, my partner and I had become paralyzed by 2015. I decided to start releasing my own music on SoundCloud. Not paralyzed like physically, like paralyzed like shit, we can't move forward with our music. Right? My music partner and I was like, there was some type of blockage. We couldn't just drop anything. It was like, what's happening? I was done being paralyzed by the music industry, like my own expectations and then not being fulfilled. So I decided to completely detach from the music industry and just make what I want and just release it. Right? In 2015, I started doing that on SoundCloud. And I wanted to let everything grow organically. And it was working. I was consistently growing through posting my music in Facebook groups and being 100% authentic. Facebook and YouTube. I got my YouTube to, 800 subscribers back in like 2015, 16. Just through that, like posting every week. I came across a very talented rapper, and then during this time also I came across a very talented rapper from Houston, and we made an incredible project that would be a mix of trap and opera within 2 to 3 weeks. We had great chemistry. It was an instant classic, And all we had to do was finish up a few things. But then again, the project got blocked. Stuff came up in his life, and we weren't able to reconnect and wrap up the project. So it just sat there half done. And that's been many years, 2015, it's been 10 years again. So why? Due to overthinking, like it had to be perfect. It has to be like this. It has to be like that. And the amazing thing was, like, I started this with the intention, like, make it and just drop it. But we started vacillating with it too much and thinking too long. And then that time period window left. It's like a cloud, right? So that's why you have to keep it gutter and maintain the energy. That's much, much more important than getting your whole idea perfect. Like, tech companies are a great example. Like, you have a great idea, they try it out in beta mode, and they see if it's working for people, and then they update it as it's going. That's what I'm doing here with Finishers Club. You notice maybe when you started, it was pretty gutter and a lot of the stuff wasn't filled out, but I'm filling it out as we're going. But I started it because I need to keep moving with the idea as I get inspired, because everything is moving. All the pieces are moving, so you need to move with it and keep up with it, right? So Never Finished is a classic. Logo done, name done, ready, singles done, masterpiece. So meanwhile with my friend who I moved to New York with, time passed. It was now 2017. We were waiting for what? For the right time. But the right time doesn't come. You have to create it. You have to decide and forge the path. Finally, we released the first single, Pleather Suit. And we got some press we wanted to from a respected underground upcoming website. It wasn't up and coming. I mean, it was already established. Passion of the Weiss was a good, cutting edge website that showed a lot of new, great rap artists. A little bit of movement, and it was looking like there was hope, but then it stopped again, right? It was hard to get everything out because we waited so long, so many opportunities passed. The energy was so difficult to move, right? In 2018, I really decided to go in with myself as a solo artist and released my song and video, Let Me Breathe. This song was made as a result of momentum built from my friends and I hosting an open mic in Harlem every Tuesday called Take the Mic, starting in spring 2018 and ending in fall 2018. I challenged myself every week to create a new song for the show and saw how the audience reacted. During this time, I was also able to really hone in how important, again, the energy is. I knew that from working in the studio, but now I experimented with it playing live shows. How is this so important? And then even showing it to people, Let Me Breathe. I remember I created it on a Friday, and I created it after hearing O3 Greedo's First Night Out mixtape. It was a classic project that really reinvigorated my love for rap music. And I listened to that. And then I was inspired to make Let Me Breathe. I made Let Me Breathe. I didn't show it to anyone. It was one of my biggest bangers. I was so excited about it, but I deliberately didn't show it to anyone because I wanted to see how the energy would move when I got to the show on Tuesday. So this was Friday. I made the beat, finished the lyrics on Saturday, mixed it, got it done. And then I show up to this open mic that we're doing. And before this, at the open mic, I was just doing avant-garde weird stuff, just light language with my voice, maybe a piano solo, nothing with my voice. And I pull out, then I do light language in the beginning, and then I pull out this song, and it blows away everyone. And I have the footage on YouTube, actually. Let Me Breathe original performance. It's on one of the playlists on there. And everyone just, explosive energy. Some people even start crying. So I realized how important it was, when you have a banger, you hold on to it. Right? When you have a banger, you hold it. You hold that energy, you protect that energy, and then you get it out, but you get it out in the proper time. You get it out soon, and you get it out with passion, and you get it out without judgment, right? And you get it out around with people who care about you. That was important too. Everyone there was really caring, and really my best friends over there. So it was important to have that group. That's why I created Finishers Club too, so we can have a community that's positive and supports each other, right? And then later in 2018, I got married. And then in 2019, my wife encouraged me to release all my work. I had 11 albums pending for 10 years. My wife was like, what are you doing? You got to drop that. So I dropped all of them one by one, some of them without even any promotion, most of them with just one Instagram post, right? Because the energy just needed to go out. Didn't matter anymore. Need to clear the energy. And what happened after that? My energy was clear. My energy was amazing. It was fresh. It was open. New inspiration started flooding in. I'm talking flooding in, like amazing. Everything refreshed, like a waterfall from the Himalayas come down and clear out everything, right? Like an invigorating cold shower, right? Scary in the beginning, but afterwards refreshing and warm. So, I finished the EP with my wife, and then I also made a satire project with my friend from high school. So I made the satire project because I didn't know where to kind of go, but I was getting all this inspiration. And we started it with just like 3 songs, and then it was 5 songs, then it was 10 songs, then 20, then it ended up being 30 songs, right? And these 30 songs was dropped on 11/11/2019, I think. Yeah, that's when it was dropped. And we started in the spring 2019, dropped in fall 2019. It was 30 tracks, Bag Boys, based on Dunkin' Donuts and LaCroix. It was a complete hit. People loved it. In retrospect, should have promoted it more, should have went even fuller into it, shouldn't have been afraid at all. So like what you're getting here, like through Finishers Club, through How to Make a Banger, is my entire life experience and all the mistakes I've made and everything I've been able to see. Like if I were to do that again, I got a ton of experience, right? And I even left out some stuff. When I first moved to New York, I started working with Ski Beats, Jay-Z's producer from Reasonable Doubt, and became good friends with him, was learning from him. A year after that, when I was working with Austin, he took me to work with LV. Sean C. and LV, they produced Jay-Z, American Gangster. They produced Beyonce. They produced Ghostface. They produced Kendrick. They produced a lot of classics, right? Being in these places, meeting D-Dot. Like, I've been in it, right? So I want to show you the proper path, the proper procedure, so you don't need to waste time, so you can really go the direct path to getting your music heard. And yeah, so Bag Boys dropped in 2019, right? No, 22. No, yeah. No, yeah, started spring 2019, dropped in fall 2019. I got a typo on here. So created such great momentum that my friend was on tour with A$AP Ferg, opening up for him. And he was playing the album in the tour bus again and again. And Ferg heard it. And Ferg was blown away by it. And he was like, get him in the studio after the tour. So that's how I started working with Ferg. Because of a satire project. Right? The lightness of the energy, the experimentation, the freedom. And then releasing everything I did before that. So everything matters. Even if something only got 1 view that I released that was a project pending 10 years ago, that was 10 years old, it led up to me being able to make this satire project and then Ferg being able to hear it. And then that led me to working with Ferg, working at Audiomack, doing a lot of stuff. Nothing is wasted. Every single brick is important. Your mindset in every moment is essential. It moves everything. You don't see it from this human mind, but your other versions of yourself see it. The universe is aware. Cause and effect is real. So, cause and effect permeates everything. So put your all into everything you do, right? And, that energy of the satire project, and it was released in the proper time. If that was released later, I would have been too sick of it. I was still excited about it to still feel like I want to promote it, and then that energy is what moves, right? All the universe is in a rhythm, and you're either in rhythm or out of rhythm with it. Point blank, period. My goal here is to get you good, get you making bangers by doing quantity, step-by-step guidance, and getting you releasing so you flow, you collect your own data, you see what's actually working in reality, and you're able to learn from your experience and iterate it, make it 1% better every time. My life's work is this school, How to Make a Banger University, in the classroom section. Finishers Club is an introduction to my world and to ingrain in your life the most important aspect of making music, which is releasing it at the proper time, which is right after you make it, creating it and releasing it, so you get the full cycle, so you can build strength, so you can build endurance. So, because at the end of the day, it's not about the music, it's about the energy. And that's where I'm going to end for here. So that's my story. I might have left out a few things, but keep it gutter. It's got to come to you. I really hope to see you in Finishers Club. It doesn't cost anything. The link is below. We're releasing every month on the 28th because we're here and we're taking actual actions and actual reality and getting actual results. We're not in la la land, just thinking about how it's going to go, being an arrogant amateur artist. All right, I've been an arrogant amateur artist. I don't suggest you be it. Be humble, like Kendrick says. You know, like, if you're just starting this, you don't know what you're doing. Like, trust me on that. I've been doing this 22 fucking years. Right? You have the chance to save 22 years. Time is precious. Right? And then if you're absolutely serious, I got other stuff. I got How to Make a Banger University. We do a group call every week. We stay in rhythm. We're ultra focused on what we're releasing, how to get it to the next level, and making only bangers, embedding that only bangers mindset. So we're victorious in everything we do. You know, so have a great day. Peace.